Give me a second. I'm trying to find out how to talk. I probably should have did that before getting on live, but improvisation. Whatever. But I'm trying not to bend the cord while sorry. Okay. Let's put that in. Some backwards ass shit. Uh, you know what? I'm gonna take it off. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm sweaty as hell because the air conditioner. It's like we have a unit, but the main one isn't working, so it's hot as hell in this bitch. Anyway, so this reading is I'm really thinking about a deeper connection. It doesn't have to be anything that's like with anyone else. It's just a deeper connection with anything you want to go deep with, I guess. Um, I'm kind like okay. It's a weird position where I'm at right now, but you can't see it. But I'm gonna put the cards over here, but I'm gonna still be talking. Let me get this glass off. Hurting my face. I've just been feeling like it's just been a stuffy energy recently. Like just stuffy in general. Um, and I feel like timing is really a factor. Before I even do this, let me get the book. I'm bringing this back again. I actually like this. I'm bringing this back again. I actually like that book, but I just haven't been using it like recently. I just been using it like when I did earlier tarot readings, but here we go. I don't know what the fuck song that is, but okay. Ooh, yeah, credulity, belief, doubt, faith, innocence, and lying. Okay, and it just ended up on the last one. So we easily forget. We easily forget crimes that are known only to ourselves. François de la Rochefoucauld. Rochefoucauld. François de la Rochefoucauld. Yes. Um. That was all. Yeah. I don't feel like connected to any of these other words, but I feel like at some point something like that is gonna pop up in the reading. So, already clouds, cards falling out. I feel like maybe you guys look at clouds a lot. I know I have, especially since I saw the moon disappear behind the cloud. It was pretty weird. I don't know. I just had this weird feeling, like something isn't really as it seems. Like how the Wizard of Waverly Place is. Everything is not what it seems. Dun, 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 dun. And I'm really picking So I feel like it's already set out, but it's just a matter of like, I don't know what it is. It's like everything is just like moving fast. That's a lot of fucking cards. Maybe one more. One more. Okay. And we have malfunction and client. What the fuck was that? Okay. So you have refusal mixed, diamond in the rough, universal and universe, grieving and destroy and seed. Aquarius, you could be Aquarius or it could be in a chart, or this could be referencing somebody who is, or who has that energy, vision and visualization. Fire sign and fire signs, passionate, grinding teeth, tunnel vision, or tunnel, peace, building blocks, LGBT plus, out of the closet, reincarnation, rediscovered, inner wounds, Scorpio, you could be a Scorpio, or somebody had those placements, it could be in your chart. Why do I keep on saying that anytime I see a sign? I mean, you guys obviously know, but I feel like it kind of helps to say it out loud. Material in Sagittarius, again, placements, could be you, could be somebody else. You have ghost figures. Ooh. I'm speaking like really fast right now, and I don't even know why. I don't even think I'm hyper right now. Give me a second. We're going to do this. This doesn't work, but it feels like kind of cool having it, I just like having a mic or something. I'm speaking, y'all. Okay. Can you see all of that? That's right there. Like, yeah, this. I literally have to keep myself in the cat tower. She doesn't even like it. I'm so dead. This shit just broke on me. I need to record this. Because it's just been fucked up since. Maybe I fucked it up more because yeah, I probably fucked it up more. Yeah, I probably fucked it up more, if I have to be honest. Anyway, hi. Welcome to my channel. I'm Zenos, and this is your tarot reading. I'm not trying to do this as a game show, but it kind of feels like. Anyway, we have inner wounds, refusal, diamond in the rough, grieving, material, Aquarius, fire sign, grind T, peace, LGBT, reincarnation, and ghost. The first thing I want to get into is LGBT. Because, and this is actually really weird, but actually recently was thinking about the whole coming out thing, and when it comes to my own self-realization, when it came to being trans and all that. Happy Pride Month, by the way. But yeah, it made me start thinking about when it comes to being out of the closet, because I feel like a lot of people who are part of the community, they don't really feel safe to be themselves, and then there's those select couple of people who are safe to be themselves when it comes to the surroundings they're around, and actually, what actually happened today was I was listening to music, and it's on Z's account, so They're listening to something that's like about their character. But one of the songs was Boy by this dude. I can't remember his name, but I know his last name was Sue, something like that. If you know him, you know him because he's actually a pretty um, active artist, I should say. And that was like our second song we heard from him. The first one was Stacy's Brother. Uh, that was actually like a crazy song, but yeah, there was a text. Anyway, we were listening to that song, and then it was like when everybody was leaving, so it was like we had this little panic where we were just like, oof, how are they gonna react to this? And it's about a boy who likes boys and girls, so it's just like, oh, it's weird, you know, how people gonna react to that. Obviously, it wasn't anything, but we were just jamming along, and we just kind of was like in our own world, and it was just, you know, being like, hey, it doesn't matter what they think. Do we like the song? Yeah, hell yeah, we do. So if we're gonna like it, then we're gonna listen to it. Period. They don't have to like it, you know. Anyway, that's my TED talk. Thank you for listening. But when it comes to being out of the closet, I feel like there's a lot that goes with coming out, especially if you've been in the closet for a long time. Even counting the childhood years. Just thought I heard a rumble. Anyway, especially when it comes to the childhood years and you weren't really allowed to express who you want to authentically be without it being something that particularly deals with gender roles or something being too feminine or too gay, you know, which is actually bullshit. Um, but what we're getting into is a need to have peace, definitely. And I feel like because of the grieving and the grinding teeth and fire sighs, and also refusal, I feel like there's a lot that goes on in the mental and even inner wounds. There's a lot that goes on with the mental when it comes to not really feeling available in the present moment. Um, Not being available in a sense of being here mentally or emotionally. You're just physically here, but you're tapped out, you know? So you're just like kind of just dealing with it, you know? I'm saying you know a lot, but I feel like you know if you know. And there's a need for more peace. Uh, now I'm getting that some of you may have actually been reincarnated, and I feel like reincarnation isn't just being human and then human again. It can be a multitude of things to where you're just like born as an animal and then where you're born from a different star system or whatnot. Whatever that feels like for you. I don't know if you guys are too deep into the star systems and you know everything that goes on, but it's just something that's like that. Uh, Personally, for me, I believe that yeah, it could be a different star systems and stuff because like we're literally just thinking we're the only living organisms on in the entire universe. Like, do humans really think that? No, some of them do, but I don't think so. Um, there's so much that we haven't even explored, especially when it comes to how we are right now. We're just kind of in the midst of there's always world problems because there's always a refusal to fix problems. I don't even want to say fix. I want to actually say come up with a solution for problems. Um, and one thing that's specifically making me think about that is the Orville, which is like the Mocklins. They have a one gender species, but it's not actually one gender. They just want it to be that way. So anytime there's a kid who's a female that's born, they change her into a male. Um, and then there's Mocklins who live in their own desolate place where there's women. They're all around, you know. Um, and they're fugitives because the male Mocklins, don't believe that women can be equal. They think they're inferior, which actually has a lot to do with how we present today as a society in different cultures. Even in the cultures we're in, it's like they don't see women as equal. They see them as too emotional, too aggravating, too blah 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 blah. in that same sense, it can also be said about how we view men, because men don't have to be rough, or they don't have to be, so aggressive. I feel like the only reason that happens is because we're always placing these expectations that every gender has to be one way and then they can't be the other way. And, how we were brought up throughout the generations, and we're now recently coming into the generation to where we're being more open, we're being more outspoken, we're being trying to be heard because we deserve to be heard. Um, I just went on a whole TED talk. I'm sorry about that, but I feel like this conversation has to be said. Um, and I think like when it comes to being a diamond in the rough, it's like diamonds are made out of the rough circumstances that they are put in, right? I don't know exactly how they were made, but that's what I was told, and I think I've read that somewhere. But they were made out of rough circumstances because they're slowly like rocks and shit being crushed together. I'm not an earthologist or anything, but I feel like diamonds, they are so much more appreciated and more valued because they're so rare. And not everybody can be a diamond. It's okay to be a sapphire or a garnet, or or like a rose quartz or whatever. It's okay to be those things. And especially when I'm saying that, I'm thinking about Steven Universe, because the diamonds are the superior beings, like in their home world, and every other gem has to follow the diamonds. And when you see how Rose was, she did some bad things, but she was doing it for a greater purpose. It doesn't make what she did right, but she was doing it for a greater purpose. And we see how she left all her issues to Steven, and just died. Well, she didn't really die, but she had to change her form to be Steven, because actually, I don't even know how the fuck she got pregnant. that entire that entire thing just like made me feel like, what the fuck. Anyway, it just goes to show you that different species and how they coexist are so much more different than we actually do imagine. Um, and I think like when it comes to being a diamond in the rough, you can't always handle the title of I don't feel like most people, I feel like when it comes to being you as a person, you can't always handle the title of being a leader or a ruler or whatnot. Um, and it's like heavy as the head wears the crown, just like Kendrick Lamar said. Uh, so it's really just up to you and your determination if you want to wear that crown and actually do something with it, rather than just leading on to destructiveness, or continuing to perpetuate the ideas that we have, because it's always the majority rules over the minority, and there is a lot of minorities, but they don't have to be minorities, and majority doesn't have to be majority. With that being said, I feel like when it comes to peace, you have to establish your building blocks. You have to establish your foundations. You have to find what is the purpose of the peace that I want. When I think about the purpose of the peace that I want, it's more so of just I want to be able to be who I am without there being any restrictions, or I'm thinking about dietary restrictions for some reason. I don't know. Maybe you guys have been trying to go on a fast, or um, kind of limit yourself to different types of food, I guess. But where the fuck was I at? Peace. Um, but peace is just like, I feel like you can't always keep peace, because there's always going to be something that disrupts it. But it's all a matter of how you are going to get to equilibrium. I would think that would be a fitting word. What was that quote from earlier? I need to look at it. I don't actually remember what it was. Something about we forget. We forget what we have done that is only known to us. I guess it's not just meant to be found. Like, oh wait! I just saw it. Here it is. François de la Rochefoucauld. We easily forget the crimes that are only known to ourselves. And when I get into that quote, I feel like it means that we often just forget about what we have done, but we're always pinning stuff on another person. And one thing about me is like I try not to forget the stuff I do, but it's kind of hard being a system. Um, it's often just like you can't forget about what you've done because at the same time, that past, what roots you have planted, that has a lot to do with how you have planted those roots. As much as it does with others, because it's always a two-way street when it comes to communication, or it can be a one-way if somebody is not wanting to communicate in an authentic way. Um, Hearing that song, "Ghosting," I forgot who it was by. I think Mother Mother. But I'm also thinking of this other song called "Sex with a Ghost," and it's by the dude that made Vanilla Curls, which who I don't remember. Um, Draco is obviously a fan of those. Anyway, um, the first song by Mother Mother, I've been ghosting, I've been ghosting around, ghosting around. But I feel like that song is like you haven't been present. What I was saying before, you haven't really been present in the moment. You've just been kind of going through the motions without actually being okay with that, you know? Not actually just being okay with it, just actually trying to get out of it. Because in that song, it's like the ghost is like, okay, since you don't like ghosts, I'll be packing my things and leaving. But sex with the ghost is something different. It's that having sex with the ghost, cause she knows I'm alone. She's a freak in the sheets, something, something, sleeping with the ghost. And I feel like that's more so just tied to either, yeah, it could be physical, but it also could be just um, in a sense of being tapped out, but just still trying to perpetuate. I just had to check something, but it's like you're there physically for just the wrong reasons instead of actually being there for good reasons that are going to be beneficial for you. Um, I think that's pretty much it from these. If I have anything else to say, I'll definitely, you know, say it. But I feel like that's it. I feel like there's a very art. Oh, material. Materialism is definitely, it's not bad, but it's not good either. So 24, 24, 6, 6. But I feel like we put a lot of energy into materialism rather than actually putting materialism to something that is going to be better. Because when we think about materials, like, yeah, they come and go, but how are you going to use those materials, you know? You have to be satisfied with the right now rather than constantly wanting more and more. You can want more, but you can't just keep wanting it and then disrespecting what you have right now. it's all about change and growth, which actually, when I think about it, it's always been a struggle, um, especially when you just see everything around you that isn't changing and growing. But you can't let that phase you. You can't let yourself be knocked around by other people who don't want to change. You have to just literally go with your own flow, with your own pace, and mind your own. So let's get into these oracle cards. Actually, I don't even want to do the Angelium. I'm gonna put that back. I just want to do the Dark Mirror. I don't know why. I was being called to it, but it's just I don't know where the book is. Maybe I don't need the book. We'll just see what comes out, and if I feel called to read something from the book, which I'm really hearing I won't, but if I do, then I'll just get the book. I know it's somewhere over there. So we have Naked Before the Stars. Holy shit, is there a dent in here? Damn. That's wild. Perchance to Dream. Peaceful Among Thorns, and Triumph of Lies. I'm gonna show you these cards. Yes. You guys have some good cards. I hope you've seen. I hope I wasn't too fast with that. And now they're in a different order, but kind of like how it is. So, Perchance to Dream. That's actually really interesting to see that it's two men holding each other, but one of them is seemingly dying. And it also kind of looks like they're morphing, like morphing from each other, like you're shedding skin, you know? That sounds weird, but it'll make sense when I explain. But I feel like it's kind of shedding this layer of skin to where you're letting go of what isn't serving you and actually doing something that. Before I even, when I say serve, I don't mean that's just at your beck and whim. I feel like serve is just like what's giving and what isn't giving. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. But I feel like it has a lot to do with letting go and shedding old ties, old skins, anything that isn't really there authentically for the long run. And this isn't to say that short runs aren't good either. It's just that when it comes to your own self, your own self preservation and whatnot, you have to realize that if you are going to choose a path, it has to be something that is actually going to make you happy. Um, this isn't to say there isn't going to be any rough moments. It's just that if you're constantly having rough moments, then there's something that's not right about it. You know what I mean? And with Triumph of Lies, you see this person that has a skull, they have a crown on them. And I feel like there's a lot of things that go with the crown because, like I said, heavy is the head that wears the crown. So, ignore me. I'm just some weird ass shit. But, you see that she's just in a crowd, you know? So, what does that actually mean to just be in a crowd and actually stepping away from the crowd and going your own path? It means that you may be ridiculed, you may be um, disgraced, you know, maybe denounced or whatnot. But you have to think about what it means behind that. Because if you are denouncing someone because of who they are and it's not actually harming anybody, even including you, you have to think about it. Why are you doing those things? Why is somebody doing those things to you? And I feel like when it comes to that type of situation, you're better off just without it, you know? You're better off just doing your own thing. You're better off just letting go. You're better off just moving on. You're better off without it, without any of those expectations they place on you or any of those cardboard cutout um, personas that they place on you. And when we talk about the sun, um, or actually, I think it's the rising or the ego, whichever which, you know. But when we talk about those, it's more so of just this is blank there. I don't remember what I was talking about, so I think we're gonna move on, and the topic just isn't meant to be discussed right now. Um, but definitely going your own path. It's not as bad as other people make it seem, or as you yourself are making it seem. Um, and it's actually good to go your own path because you're learning more about yourself. You're actually motivated to learn more than how other people are. We're talking about the sun, moon, ego, and whatnot. Persona, or how you give off to other people, how people see you, in the outside perspective. Um, I think about this a lot when it comes to outside perspectives because even with people I actually talk to on a daily basis or I'm around on a daily basis, I don't actually know them. I just have this persona of them that they give me. So, you know, it's actually weird. Uh, and I don't really think that people like to discuss their true selves because how we see the shadow or the moon, it's more so of deep secrecy of just wanting to hide everything to pull a wool over. I don't want to say a wool over somebody's eyes, but just like a wool over your eyes. So it could be somebody else's eyes too, though. But when it comes to who we are, even in the most bad parts of ourselves, we all have to deal with the shadow and the ego. We all have to deal with those things. It's just a matter of, are you going to let one roll over the other, or are you actually going to intermingle them and actually be something that is not harmful to others or yourself, but more so in the mode of coexisting, coexisting just with other people, including how you are with yourself, your own self-image, your own body, your own vessel, whatever it is. You just got to coexist with it and not be so harsh on what it is. And another thing, I feel like, because my dad told me this, bills are always going to get paid. That's in like a literal sense, but also in a sense of just like whatever happens, it's just gonna happen. Um, Regardless, you still gotta get it done, but it's gonna get done when it gets done. Um, Even then, I feel like we always run out of time, but time is just. I'm yawning a lot. I don't know why. I feel like some of you may be tired. I mean, it is night, but stay up with me. Stay up. I feel like it has a lot to do with how we internalize things, though. We internalize a lot. And I feel like the shadow is just about internalizing. Um, so is the ego, but more so in externalizing. I don't know if that's a word, but what I mean by externalizing is like you're giving off rather than taking. When we talk about blows to the ego and stuff, when it comes to criticism, it's like, what type of criticism are you looking for? Because criticism can be good, but if it's just like constantly saying you're doing bad without actually giving you something to go with, then that is bad criticism. Why the hell am I getting on criticism now? Let's move on to the next part because I feel like I'm over explaining. You're going past looking through eyes and shit. You're going past and seeing that it's just a life that you want to make. And it's okay to make the life that you want to make. You can't really study how other people are saying how it should be because we each have our own path. We each have our own um, karmic debt that we're building up. And karma doesn't have to be bad, it can be good too. And I feel like we put too much importance on bad karma that we actually just keep on getting it. Instead of actually thinking, hey, I'm worthy of this, I deserve this, so why can't I go for it? Anyway, let's move on. You have peaceful among thorns. And when I think about this part, or actually when I see it, it's like you're staying in this calm place. You're staying in a calm pace or place, and you're not allowing the outside to get you out of your character. You're more so just kind of going with the times and actually letting yourself blossom in the way that you should have when you were a child. Um, Naked before the stars. I'm thinking about this song that's called Messages from the Stars. Um, I get messages from the stars that you makes me love me. Sweet love. I feel like love can conquer all, but it's a matter of what type of love you're getting and what type of love you're putting out. Um, but I feel like you're actually getting deep with yourself, going through the motions, like how the moon cycle is. You're actually taking time to get to know yourself, to get to pleasing yourself, to get to understanding the deeper levels that are within you. And we all have deep levels. It's just a matter of if we're actually going to look at those levels or just let them continue to build up and ignore them. And that's why I feel like Peaceful Among Thorns is just you actually taking the time out to create the peace that you need for yourself. Moving on to your cards. I will be using the Tarot of Divine. And also the Spirit Animal Tarot. Spirit Song. Yes. I don't know where the book is for this either. It's somewhere. Oh. It just is what it is. And sometimes I feel like I do get scared to show those deeper levels with other people because for most of our life we have been criticized and judged for a lot of shit. And I don't think people understand that when you are constantly feeding into fear, uh, you're actually you're actually missing a lot of opportunities. Um, but I feel like it also is a stance of actually allowing yourself to come out of that fear at your own pace, because you can't force somebody to just immediately let go of something. It's all about timing. It really is. I don't care what anybody says. It's all about timing. Um, because if you use your time wisely, then you're going to get good results. If you're just fucking around with it, then you're just going to continue perpetuating the same old bullshit. I don't know which one I want to use first. I'm gonna do this first song first. Let's see what comes out for the collective. I hope you guys can hear me fine. I hope my audio isn't fucked up or anything. You have the Ace of Feathers, mental clarity, and foundations. Foundations again. You're building. What are you building? I have two cards. The Knight of Acorns and the Nine of Crystals. Security and abundance. And action and divine. I feel like 5 of these will do. Maybe 6. I'm not sure. Let's see what it comes out. You have 2 of feathers, decisions and direction. I'm already getting like messages. I want to just go back to the past or how things were before. You have the Knight of Crystals and the 2 of Crystals. Endurance and abundance. Balance and adaptability. See, I said 5 or 6. Why the hell was I saying 2 or 6? On the back you have the 9 of Feathers in reverse. Perspective and self-empowerment. Let's flip over. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, in reverse. You have the 3 of Wands. You have the 3 of Coins. It was in reverse. You have the 2 of Coins, also in reverse. A lot of reversals. Okay. You have the 5 of Wands in reverse. And the 5 of Cups. I feel like there's a lot of rough energies. I mean, go figure, you know. Oh. And we have Strength in reverse. I'm going to put that at the bottom. And you have the Ace of Wands on the back. So there's been a block in a lot of creativity and being who you want to be. And you have the Ace of Coins on the back too in reverse. I actually don't even think these are supposed to be in reverse, but they all came out in reverse. Let me check it. And another card flipped over. You have the Queen of Swords, and she's upright. I'm gonna put that down. No, they're all supposed to be in reverse. You have the Page of Swords on the back of that. Give me a moment. I have to actually let this sit in. I'm getting that a lot of you are scared of the fall. Um, I don't actually know what that means, but anytime I reference that, it's more so of just like you're scared of falling on your ass. And it's nothing to be scared of. If it happens, and it just happens. You just gotta build yourself back up. Excuse me. Um, there's been a lot of fighting. Yeah, and a lot of caution that has been needed. Like you've been steadily marching to the beat of your own drum. You've been having to make tough decisions as well, and you've been feel like you've been lacking strength, whether it's because of what you're intaking nourishment wise or mentally, you know, thoughts, words, actions, all of those play a part in nourishment. Nourishment isn't just only, um, it isn't just only food. And with the Queen of Swords, I feel like it's been like you've been in this mode of just quickly to snap because of something that was lost. That's the Five of Cups. That's not the. What did I think I said the Four of Cups, but that was the Five of Cups. I had to realize that because she's crying over the ones that were spilling, but not actually focusing on the ones that are still intact. Um, you have a lot of these that are traveling, a lot of animals that are traveling. I feel like that when it comes to you moving around a lot, but you're not really sitting to think and like actually stay in one place to get a understanding. You're just moving to move, and it's like you're running away from an issue that's just been perpetuating you for a long time. I keep on have this reoccurring. It was a dream, but I keep on having this reoccurring vision from that dream that when I have the couch up, um, that one day I'll be frustrated and I'll just close up on it, and then in graphic warning, um, possible animal death. But I had this like vision where I just frustratingly just close up the couch, and then my dog is still under there, and he does go under the couch when I have my covers on top of it, and actually sit under the chair because it's where I'm sitting at. Like he's under it, so I'm sitting right there. But anytime before I close it, I always try to check and see if he's somewhere around the room or if he's under there because I'm scared that one day that'll actually happen. And I'm hoping that it doesn't, but you know, it just never hurts to be cautious when it comes to stuff like that. Um, and I know how much he likes being close to me, so it has a lot of my scent around to be sitting under there. Um, I don't know why I shared that. I think it was just like in a sense of thinking about the frustration and snapping. Because trust and believe, I do have a lot of emotional issues when it comes to anger, when it comes to suppressing it, when it comes to suppressing myself essentially. But anger can either be used for good or destructiveness. And that's why when I'm angry, I choose to just be to myself and let myself sort that out. Um, but I feel like at the end of the road, you're just going to be stuck for a moment because that's what's meant to happen. I feel like you have to have this processing factor of just actually doing better for yourself. Um, it's a need for you to slow down, for you to recognize that what you're doing right now, it does serve a greater purpose than what you think. You're supposed to be in this energy that is stuck because it's teaching you Actually, I don't know what it's teaching you because I'm not you, but for me, when I was stuck, it just kind of helped me see that, hey, this is just a moment. Moment is just a moment. It'll pass. Um, and maybe sometimes it takes longer. It may take months. It may take years. But it's just that energy that's in for the moment. It doesn't mean that it will be a forever thing unless you let it. And I feel like it's been such a difficult choice to make because you're not sure what the right choice is. And especially because I see that with the Three of Wands, yes, and the Ace of Wands, it's like she's climbing to back to her fire. Um, and this, it's like at the edge, and it's pointing towards the Ace of Cups that's in reverse. And I feel like there's a need for you to get your fire back, especially when it comes to what you're passionate about. Passion was also in the my deck, my cards, and you have to just learn to be more passionate, especially when it comes to loving life, when it comes to loving yourself, when it comes to loving people. You have to be more passionate and give more. And actually, this is something that I was thinking about yesterday. When it came to the hamster Cloudy, um, I thought about her water tank because she's constantly going for water, right? But it takes a while for it to get low. So I just started thinking, like, do I just refill it every time it's empty, or do I just go ahead and refill it because it needs to be refilled? And that same thing can be said about the energy that you pour into stuff, whatever energy you're pouring into, wherever you're pouring your energy into. Um, you can either just let it deplete and then try to fill it up at the last second, or you can just keep on continuously filling it. And I think that is just more so of just your perspective, because you need to keep on refilling something to make sure that it's full for you. If you're filling into something that isn't for you, then you're filling into the wrong place, obviously. But sometimes we don't even like to listen and think that something is bad for us, but we know it is deep inside. I feel like we all have that inner knowing of what is good and what isn't good. I don't even want to always say bad, because bad is also subjective. Because they say that being trans is bad, being gay is bad. Um, they also say a lot of stuff is wrong. She's over there kind of messing with the hamster. But anyway, I feel like you're just going to have a rough period at this moment. Um, and I don't think it's anything to fear. You just have to let it pass. You have to go with the flow. You have to continue to just ride out the tide, until you wash up upon shore. You know, like how surfers are, they'll keep on riding the wave, and then the wave will die down, and they're just like swoop, slip back to the surface. It's kind of like that. You just have to ride the wave, bruh. Ride the wave, bruh. Anyway, I really, I'm gonna get some more cards from my deck. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm feeling called to do that anyway. I'm hearing this song from Megan Free. I think that's her name, but it was that song that was talking about Snow White and shit. What's that song? I don't remember what it's called. I think it's okay. Here's how it went. The birds, the bumblebees all fancy to your melody. It sends me in a frenzy of jealousy and envy. Jealousy and envy. Um, I think it's actually called Jealousy, but Meg Gone Free. You'll just have to look it up. Where I can just, I'll have to watch this video back to put it back in, like, the description, but for some reason that song is coming to me, and I think it just more so it's just like you can't be envious of other people. Like, it's a natural emotion, but when it comes to being envious, you have to think about what you're envious of. Because if somebody else can do that shit, what makes you think that you can't do it? What makes you think that you're not good enough to do X, Y, and Z? It's all a matter of building up that skill and actually trying to do it. This is just saying it not only to myself, but to, you know, how whoever is watching this. But it's just more so of just building up the skills and not actually being afraid of the fall. Which the fall is just taking that step, that courageous step, that like the fool, and take the journey. You know, I feel like I'm explaining it, but it's like coming out weird. Anyway, let's get these last parts. It's almost an hour. What cars do you have? No. What's the fourth fucking yawn? Oh. I feel like maybe you guys stay up too late. I can't even say that because I do the same shit. Even though I know I shouldn't, I just don't like. It's like when sometimes you get scared of the brain turning off, so you don't know how to actually just turn it off naturally. These are the same fucking cars that popped out and I just said no to. Literally. Okay. You have pollution, downgrade, Libra, balance, disposition, and supernatural, below and above. As above, so below. So as below, so above. You also have fire signs and acceptance. Thinking about the 5 stages of grief. But thinking about pollution, what I said before, you have to think about what you're putting in and what you're giving out. Because anything can just pollute your mind and not kind of sit in for way too long than it should be. You also have disposition. It's like what you're out of position, you're out of the line, you're out of what you should be focusing on. I feel like there is a need to be a balance, especially with Libra here. I feel like Libras are all about balancing, and they're kind of taking it to a harsh extreme level, to where it's just like how Anubis is with the feather and the heart. If the heart is heavier than the feather, then it's like you're way out of it. You're way out of the line, you know. It's the fifth one. God damn it! It's heard ringing in my ear. Where that ringing is coming from somewhere. And it's coming from the air vent. Anyway, I'm sorry. Um, Fire size, definitely. But there's a need for you to accept what already has happened. And now it's just a matter of seeing, how can I move forward from this point on? How can I make amends with the past, but also look towards the future? Can't always have it together. Sometimes you have to go through those rough patches. Hell, I feel like people think that anybody who's just been a good figure, especially because when we think about the universe and we think about God or whoever you praise, we think about just them being all powerful and not feeling any type of humane emotion or not feeling humane at all. I feel like we all go through those routes. We all have those emotions. We all feel something. We are not just above it, just looking in a higher perspective of just like, oh, that's weird. We shouldn't do that, We have those emotions for a reason. It's just a matter of what you do with those emotions, how you process them. That's going to be the make it or break it. Um, since we reached an hour, I think I'm gonna end it. Thank you so much for watching. Um, if you want to see any of my other readings, check on my page. But keep it juicy and koozie, and peace the fuck out.